adventurous bakers. So this is how I made this Bible cake. It's very simple, and I made use of simple tools that you already have in your bakery. Now I baked my cake. I'm using a light fruit cake here. I baked my cake in a rectangular pan 10 by 5 inches, and then after baking it, just one layer, and I divided it into two. Now I don't want this to be very big. I'm going to put it on top of a cake, so I wanted it to be as small as possible. Next, I added buttercream in between and placed the second layer, the one I cut out, on it. And then I went over to trim my cake, trim the side to make sure it's well leveled and it's straight. I'm using my serrated knife here. And then once I was through with that, I went ahead to crumb coat it with buttercream. I also added crumbs to my buttercream. We'll call that messy buttercream or messy crumb coating. So I crumb coated it and allow it set firm or dry. You can place it on your work surface, put on your fan so it dries out, or just leave it on your work surface. It dries out in a minute. And then once I was through, I was ready to start decorating. Now to start decorating, I made my board using regular carton, and then I applied glucose on it and kept my cake on it so that my cake sticks to it. Now my crumb coat is ready, is dried. I measured it and I'm rolling out my fondant. I'm going to use it to cover the cake. The process is very simple, and I just decided to share it since I have not shared something like that on the YouTube channel. First, I cover the side, the rectangular side of the cake. Then next, I roll on that fondant and I cover the top. I also try to get sharp edges. You know, we bakers are always fans of sharp edges, sharp edge gang. So I covered it and tried to get my sharp edges. Then I also used another fondant to make the top or the cover, and like I did for the rectangular one, I also tried to get my sharp edges from this. And this is quite simple. I'm trying to trim out any excess here. I don't want the cover to be very big, so then I continued with my sharp edges. Now the next thing I did was to create indents with my pizza cutter. I tried putting in with my pizza cutter. Now I saw that it wasn't giving me the exact design, the exact indent I wanted, and I went over using this tool in your modeling paste tool. I forgot the name. It has an end that looks like a blunt knife, so that's what I used. Then when I was through, I painted it with luster dust. For my luster dust, I mixed it with edible spirit. You can also use alcohol, you can use brandy, you can use 501, but edible spirit, I prefer edible spirit because it dries out on time. So I used edible spirit and I painted that side. Then I went over with my alphabet cutter. You can use any alphabet cutter of your choice. You can use tap-it cutter. I once shared a tutorial on how to use tap-it cutters, but this I'm just using a regular cutter, and I brought out the cutters, cut out the words I wanted, Holy Bible, painted it with gold, and then I placed it on the cake using water. Then for the stripes I just measured out and attached it to the cake. Then I did what I think they call it tassel or so. So that's just how I covered this cake. It's just very simple. Hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Look out for more tutorials and tips on cake coverings, recipes, and the like. So that's all for me for today. See you next week. Bye bye.